Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
The last time we visited Wild West, we saw Keaton Swain manage to come out on top. That has proved a rare occurrence this season, with Connor Berry gobbling up most of the victories. Will St. Patrick's Day bring someone else a bit of luck tonight? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch Round 8 of the 2022 iRacing Short Course National Series live on Podium Esports. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and joining me in the booth tonight is the voice of off-road, Dave Arnold. Our producer for the evening is Ryan Bauer, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. And as we wait for the trucks to continue to warm up, this is going to be a fun one because like we saw last round, Dave, it's a rather short course that they're going to have to tackle here in Wild West. And as we get ready to go racing, let's take a look at the schedule as well. And as we mentioned, we are in round 8, and this is the last time we're going to be visiting Wild West before we head off to Bark River and then Crandon to wrap things up exactly where we started back in January. And they're heading off into the qualifying session. So while they get started on those laps, we're going to take a look at the track. A little bit of a closer look down from space here out near Reno. And as I said, Dave, this is a bit of a small course, and from above it looks pretty simple, but from down on the track itself, I doubt it's anything like that.
Well, you can see that top area when you go from 2, it takes you up the hill to 3 to 4. So you really get a lot of elevation changes. Really challenging, and a lot of bumps, and how you get your runs out of the turn is critical.
Indeed, I have to imagine, especially out of that turn 4 down that long start-finish straight, climbing your way up the hill. Now, for today's race, it is going to be 22 laps for the feature around here, and they're going to have a mandatory caution at the end of lap 10. But before we get to that, we have to have our heat races. Now, those are going to be 6 laps each. And then, of course, the LCQs, for those that don't finish within the top 3, are going to have to fight their way into the main event. And it's only going to be the top 2 in those. So pressure is even more on if you get into the LCQs. We'll see if anybody winds up there. In the meantime, as we get drivers out and around, nobody's set a time yet, but they do get 4 laps to try and set their quickest. Is track position going to be relatively important here, or is passing not going to be too big of a concern, Dave?
Oh, well, I mean, turn 1, you can see a lot of turns, and it comes a who's going to outbrake who. But another one is that final turn 4, setting up for it, getting that run down the hill. So being out front, it's not a lot of places. You're going to really force your way to some of these places. Kind of got to get in the inside, put the elbows out, and push the guy to the wall.
So right now we're watching Zach Knowles is on his first flyer. Josh Edmondson has the provisional pole up in the number 58 machine with a 50.4 around the track. And there's that elevation change Dave was talking about, all the way back up. And then it's going to plunge back down out of turn 4, just absolutely drop away, and then fly across the start-finish straight to complete his first lap. Let's see if the 099 kept it clean. They can't bounce off the walls here. And as he crosses the line, a 51.037, and that is going to put him into 5th place. Pretty decent for the first time round.
Yeah, that was a good run, not bad at all. And I mean, you talking about that straightaway, they're hitting, close to 100 miles an hour in real life. I know they're doing it in the Sims too. And man, that is going to be where you can keep it down. But you can see that jump right there at 100 miles an hour. You got to time that thing just right and just burp it up there, not bottom it out, not lose control.
Yeah, we now ride on board coming back down the hill, as this is Simoneau, I believe, or excuse me, Tom Grady that we've got in the 535. Whips it back around turn 2 and into 3. Long left-hander. And let's see how he takes this little rhythm section of jumps up and over. Very fresh track here this evening. In the qualifying session, they had already warned it in during the practice, but it got reset once they started to head out for qualifying. But it looks like this is not going to be a flyer for him, as he certainly took a very late apex, a very slow turn 4.
Well, I think he was trying to get a good setup off out of turn 4, trying to get that line up, get down as you get across there to get that timer one more time. You're going to see a pretty good lap at him, I think, this time.
Yeah, and that first one looks like it got deleted, so he must have touched a wall somewhere and knew that one wasn't going to be worth it anyway, so might as well set it up for lap 2. So far, so good from what I can see. Up and over the leap into turn 3 and keeping it hugged right up against that left side wall. So far, it's looking decent, and his timing is showing that he's going to be improving by about a second, if I'm reading it right.
Yeah, this looks like a good run, real clean. You see that exit there, runs it up by the wall. Doesn't have to scrub any speed off.
That's going to be a 50.883. That will put him into 9th position. We're still waiting on about 4 drivers to set a time in these last 5 minutes. Winkler, Swain, Folsom, and Ramsey, but we don't see the 66 of the 29 on track right now. So it looks like they might not even take a start time unless they hustle out there, because they're going to run out of time as we now watch the 21 of Keaton Swain, who's not exactly on his quickest at the moment, but it is getting close to about his best time. That was a poor turn 2, though, coming around very slow, and now he's about half a second off.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to get a run up. He's got another lap to go here. But, Keaton's, he's not always qualified on top, but, he can make a good run at this track. He really has this track wired when there's traffic out there. And that's a big difference, how you drive it qualifying versus when there's traffic. There's a lot of other lines you got to look for. And he's pretty good at finding those lines.
Oh, but he's pulling over. He's not happy with it. And that will end both of his last 2 qualifying laps. So he's done. And that put him in 4th in the end, unless somebody out-qualifies him. Here's the 66. What has he got? Looks like that. Oh, actually, that was a start of his flyer as he swings it around turn 1 and plunges back down the hill. So this is going to be his first time lap. This is one of the two that I mentioned that still needs to set one, himself and Nathan Ramsey. So we will at least get the 66 on the board as long as this one stays within the boundaries.
Yeah, I'm looking at these times. I mean, look at this. The top 10 are just tenth of a second, second apart. It's just incredible. And Grady's got his work cut out because everybody's running right up in their 50s. That's the magic number right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at 10. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, look at Connor Berry, 50.3.
Yeah, and you mentioned how close the top 10 are. There's only 0.6 of a second from first to 10th.
Yeah.
Folsom now moves himself into 20th, so not quite within that group. He's about 1.3 off the pole, but as we mentioned, still a couple of laps in his pocket.
Well, he's got his work out. He's got to cut some time off there. And he gets that smooth run. And that hairpin is just so critical when they come in there. You know, you've got to set up to get the drive because you got to keep this position. You got to drift out, but not scrub too much speed.
Let's see what he does with the last corner of the track. Oof, really bounces into it, but it looks all under control to me as the clock continues to tick up. It's looking like an improvement, even if it's not going to be a huge one. Let's see if this gets him any spots. 51.3, that will indeed. That gets him, well, 19th.
Cracking the top 20 in this group is pretty impressive. I mean, these guys, the times are so impressive. You know, you talked about 0.7 of a second separating the top 10 drivers. Please.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You mentioned the difficulties in trying to overtake and having to be aggressive around here. That's going to make it even harder with everybody so close on pace. And we'd heard discussion before, and as well the last time we visited here, that this place is pretty tricky when it's a fresh track. I've heard drivers say that it's very slippery.
And right there, that's a good example. Watching Nathan Ramsey right now, you can see when he turned that corner, he's pitching sideways. It just didn't look like it was getting that forward drive. It was a little bit of side forward.
Whoa!
And well,
yep, up and over, and that will end his qualifying, as that was the start of his third lap. And but if he comes back out, he's not unfortunately going to be able to do a timed fourth. So Dashley and the number 23 in the meantime. This is his last chance, and it's a 51.2. That's not going to be quick enough. He'll stay in 7th, but still a top 10, as we mentioned. That is pretty close to the mark if you're looking up at the front runners. As we go back to Folsom once again, and the 66 comes around that last turn. It might be our last driver to be able to set a time, as we've only got 40 seconds left. What's this going to put down? Crosses 51.597. That's about 0.2 off.
Yeah, it was similar to the run he had beforehand, so that's a bummer. But you know, you still got some heat races and LCQs to fight your way to that main event.
I see Felix Roy on one last flyer in these last 20 seconds. We're switched over to a little bit of B-roll, but I'm checking to see what he's got, and it's nothing, it looks like, as that one unfortunately did not count for him. And Ramsey did take back off around the track, but as we said, he's not able to set a time, which means our drivers have set the grids, but we wait for the first heat to populate. And then we'll get to that first starting grid of the evening. And again, this is to place yourself in the feature or get slotted down into the last chance qualifier. And up on the pole, it's going to be Connor Berry for this first heat. Josh Edmondson will be in 2nd. Tom Grady will be P3, followed by Brian Clement in 4th. Anthony Gaudio will be in 5th position. He'll have Sean Winkler to his outside, and Cameron Magashik will round out your 7 drivers here in this first heat this evening.
Well, they got 6 laps to do it, and I'll tell you, that bullseye is on Connor Berry right now. The points leader, he's on the pole sitting here for this heat race, had the fastest time, and Josh Edmondson right next to him, you know, a teammate, but an equally talented driver.
And let's not forget that last time we visited, Connor Berry has unfinished business here. He didn't manage to win. And for fact, what I understand, he had a rollover that cost him. So he's probably going to be fired up to try and wrap this one up and put a nice little bow on this race. But it doesn't finish here. This is where it all starts. So can't play it too risky in these sort of situations. And in fact, from what I understand, I believe they are doing a pace lap around here first, yes, so that they try and rub the track in a little bit and get it prepared.
Well, I'll tell you, that track is notoriously, in real life, it was always slippery when it was wet. And it's great to see how iRacing has really matched how this dirt, it will kind of wear in, just like other tracks with building rubber up. We'll get a little rubber laid down, track will dry out a little bit, and you'll see these tracks really come to these drivers. It's just incredible to see. And it's smart to get that first lap to, as we call it, burn it in.
Yep, looks like we just about have everybody out there gridded up, and then we'll be on our way on this one. As we had, I believe it was in the realm of 30-some drivers for this evening that will be running. So it is a pretty full field out here today. And we're going to see 4 heats before we take off and head off into the last chance qualifiers. So we got a lot of racing under our belts, but it is only 6 laps. So if you are going to make up positions to get into those top 3, you got to make it happen soon.
And I like the fact that they created an extra heat, because in these heat races, like I said, it's really hard to pass here when you got a lot of trucks out there. It's just a lot of physicality and a lot of damage. And, I think this is going to promote more, a little bit better racing in the heat races. And I think gloves will come off in the main.
Looks like they've just about got everybody out there now, getting a little information from race control before they go on their merry way. And yeah, it is definitely much fewer with these 4 heats, as I think we're gonna see 4 drivers head off into the LCQ here, since only 3 of them will advance automatically. And again, that does not count you out of the feature race. If you don't make these top 3, you can still get in with that last chance qualifier. But again, it's even harder, as you're going to have to finish in the top 2 in those. So the numbers will continue to dwindle as we see them line up just before they head around turn 4. And already some of them are antsy to get going. It's finally the pace truck is going to lead them around and will peel off, but they will get an extra pace lap and burn the track in here as they come around that last corner and get ready to go after another lap around. It's been very cloudy out here, and so maybe they aren't doing the pace lap as they are going green. So forget what I said a little bit earlier and into the first corner. It looks like Connor Berry has the whole shot. He is going to be able to take that top spot away from any challengers. Edmondson slots into second, and Tom Grady is your last one in the transfer spot currently.
You can see Grady's right there now fighting with Clement. Clement going to the inside, but he gets a little help from behind. Lost his momentum, so it looks like Grady was able to hold on to that spot.
He's got to watch out. Grady's got some big pressure from Brian right now, and he's already starting to drop away from Edmondson, who's keeping touch with our leader as they come into turn 4. And then back down the hill they go. Another look to the inside from the 483. He is very interested in getting that spot away. Let's see if he has anything into turn 1.
Ooh, this is where it becomes the outbreaking game. You can see right there a perfect example. You got to set yourself up just right. And who's going to outbrake who? Who's going to overshoot the turn? Who's going to get up there on the K-rail?
Absolutely, and just about ran into the side of Tom Grady for a moment, but they're pretty single file for the time being. As they come out of turn 3, Grady still seeing a mirror full of Brian Clement. And back up towards turn 4 they go. It's separating to about a second and a half between second and third place. as those two have got a very comfortable margin over the rest of the field, and there's a little bit of a touch between the 535 and the 483.
Yeah, Clement getting up there a little close on him. He's trying to apply a little pressure, trying to force him to mistake. And man, especially when you're going around that turn, you got to be careful because as you saw from that camera shot, you can see how unsettled the trucks get.
Coming back down the hill towards turn 2 once again, and just absolutely leaping through the air here. As you can see the immense speeds that they build up around this circuit. And then switching back around into turn 3, still little pokes and prods underneath from Clement, trying to see if he can find anything, but he's not as close as he was last 2 laps. So are we seeing Grady finally get himself some relief and pull away from that threat?
Well, it's really hard when someone's really hounding you. You'll tend to battle with them and it'll slow you down just a little bit. And you can see that. But Grady, I think he's trying to forget about him driving his race. You got to forget about that driver and not make mistakes. You don't want to leave that door open for him either. But you got to concentrate those 2 guys in front. And you got the last qualifying position. Don't mess up.
Exactly, yeah. You're on the bubble right now. You really don't want to let it pop. And they are already on lap 4. So most of the work has been done. If you can just keep this pace up, keep from opening a door, and it looks like he's got this under control right now. We haven't seen Clement poking his nose nearly as much as he was early in this race behind them. It's been pretty dead, frankly. Magashik, Winkler, and Gaudio have not been a part of the battle at all. They haven't been able to catch up to 3rd and 4th position. And now that 3rd position is also seeing itself spread apart, this could be riding it home all the way to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're just sitting up there. They set the pace pretty much. And man, if that's the pace, you're going to have to crank it up just a little bit in the LCQ. You know, but it's easy to get out front and run.
Ooh, there's another.
Ooh, yeah, that's close.
Trying to get to the inside. It's such a tight right-hand hairpin, that one, and just about tipped Tom Grady around. I got to imagine that's also a level of difficulty at this track, not just trying to make a pass, but make it without turning your opponent around or over.
Well, that not hitting the K-rails, you see how these guys literally put that front wheel, the nose, kind of rotate. So then, if you have contact with somebody, you're going to either force that guy into the K-rail, wreck you both out, or you go for a rail slide on it.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get style points around here as they come through turn 1. That one a little bit farther away from Clement, just giving him space down at the apex, and the 483 cannot catch up. This is the final lap. This time he covers him off down into the hairpin. Brian is going to have to get desperate if he wants to try and get into that transfer spot from here, and it's looking less and less likely, although that one got a little bit close as we hop on board with the Martin Sports driver. It doesn't look like he's got a chance into 4 unless he gets a mistake out of that 535. This one looks to be done, but the win for the heat is Connor Berry as Josh Edmondson follows him home in 2nd, and Grady will be your final transfer. Clement, Gaudio, Winkler, and Magashik will head off into the LCQ in a few minutes' time.
It's just amazing that they weren't that far off. Once the gap was set, they kept it pretty close.
Absolutely, and that takes us to the finishing results there. You can see those top 3 will advance, and the bottom 4 will be back again to race some more before we get to the feature. Now we look at the 2nd heat, and on the pole, it is Felix Roy and the number 91. Christopher Plumley will start from 2nd position. Tyson Miller will be P3. Aiden Irvin will be to his outside. Ryan Lindner starts from 5th. Jake Hill in 6th position, and Scott Posey in 7th. The other thing that's going to be neat to watch is the evolution of the track throughout these heats as well, because the track does not get reset, so all that wear and tear that we saw in that first heat remains, and we can see that racing line start to get worn in.
Well, I could just see from this shot right there, you can see the color change between the dirt. You can see it's a little bit tanner. You know, it looks like that's where you want to be. That's what these drivers are going to look for, too.
And it looks like our pole sitter has been given an EOL, so I assume this is from a previous penalty from previous round, excuse me. So that is going to make life hard for him. Christopher Plumley will now start from the pole position in that case. This is a definite gift just right into the lap of the 36 here as we wait for them to get going. They're all out there and ready to roll. At least this time we know that they are not going to do an extra pace lap around here.
Yeah, they're going to get right on that green flag, and I think they like that. You know, you can see that pace truck takes off.
We can like that. We like that too, because we want to see more racing around here.
Agreed.
And another little chat from race control. Didn't quite catch what was said, but so it looks like they're going to send them on their merry way. Whatever they needed to say is done, and that's Felix just trying to pull out of the way, letting everybody go by. There they go.
Ooh.
So that will put Plumley in first, but they leave an open gap for the 90. Tyson Miller is starting from third, but he's got no one in front of him here as he looks for the green flag. And there it is. Green flag is out. Very good start for the 36. He is going to keep the attack away from Tyson Miller, who could have had a good chance to try and sneak to his inside. Behind him, a little bit of a touch from the third place Irvin as they all get stacked up. We got a car over. Scott Posey winds up on his lid.
And you can see Roy still back in the back of the pack there, but Plumley, you know, he was pretty lucky. Miller, you know, I think he just kind of like, you know, late braked him a little bit, and he was able to get away from him. Because Miller, if he would have got the inside, he could have taken that one. That would have been a nice move.
We're riding on board with Roy here. The 91 got almost tipped around through turn 3 by Lindner, but held on to it. That gives him 5th place. 2 more spots. Oh, and right into the back of Jake Hill. Gives a huge hello. That's going to actually slow him down instead.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's one of the gambles you take. You know, if you're gonna, you know, you're gonna throw it out there, you got to make sure nobody's in that spot.
Yeah, I don't think he anticipated the car braking that early as they come around the corner and back down the hill. We take a look at our onboard here. This is the last place runner right now of Ryan Lindner, who is going to still try and see if he can get that back from Roy, who's trying to pry 4th place away from Jake Hill as they go by our lap truck that turned over. That's Scott Posey and Jake Hill now side by side as they head towards turn 4.
Jake Hill having a good run. You can see him trying to move over, take that line. He's going to slide out though. Oh, Roy goes down deep, and he's going to take that position.
Just nudged him out of the way, it looked like, and so Roy has 1 more to go. And they're already halfway through the race. He's got about a 1-second gap to make up to Irvin there. Oh, and unfortunately he's got some battles that are not done. Jake Hill sends it up the inside, gives him a touch. He's going to look again down into turn 2. Is he going to be able to do it again? Doesn't quite look like it. And they're going to stay in line. But that slowed up the 91 even more. He's now got 1.3 seconds to make up.
Yeah, you can see Linder back there is applying the pressure to Hill, but man, I don't think there's, you know, he's better crank it up there, Roy, to get that qualifying position, but just amazing to watch him, you know, slice his way right through that crowd.
And half the race as well. We only get 6 laps, and he's just about there. Christopher Plumley is still leading this race. Tyson Miller's in second, and Irvin, as I mentioned, is in the last transfer spot. As we come up into the first corner once again, you can see how slow they have to get it down to after going so fast down that front stretch. And watching from the onboard of Roy, he has gained almost 0.8 of a second on Irvin. It's down to 0.6 now.
That's amazing. You may think they're going a little slow through there, but they're actually moving pretty good. You know, putting the truck sideways at like 40, 50 miles an hour, it's not the easiest thing.
This reminds me of the Lotus 49s here on iRacing. Everybody says how slow they are through the corners, and yeah, no, they're doing about 60 in the slow corners. That ain't slow as they come across the start-finish line. Once again, it's down to 0.4 of a second. Roy's getting to where he could start attacking, but he's only got 2 laps to do it. Look at the...
Oh, my goodness. Looking up the inside. Now this is going to be the tricky one. If he could get a good break and go to the inside.
Oh.
Nope. Didn't time it right.
No, found the car at the apex, so the 259 truck is going to deny him that time. But this is good signs for the 91, as he's been showing that he is much quicker into and through the middle of these corners so far. Just has to, like you said, time it right. Let's see what turn 4 holds.
Well, it's all about, hoping the guy's not going to throw the line where you're putting it. Because they're going to do everything they can to guard that position. All right, white flag.
And he immediately turns it down to the inside, but look at that shallow entry, holds him up a little bit, slow through the corner, and Roy nearly gets it through, but it's not done. Last lap here in heat number 2. Can he cut back underneath? He might be able to have it. No, he clips the inside berm a little bit, and that slows him down.
Yeah, that K-rail, it definitely hits back.
So out of turn 3, one last-ditch effort into turn 4, maybe? Or will he try and cut back underneath them? Which is it going to be as they slide into the corner? Big bounce, and that sets him off as up ahead of them. Plumlee takes it to the line and wins from his accidental pole here in Heat 2. Miller's in second. Irvin winds up third. Roy just short, but still a phenomenal run for the 91 truck.
It was great. Plumlee and Miller, they kind of walked away. We know they're in qualifying. I think that was the real race between Irvin and Roy. What an incredible one.
That was fun to watch for sure. And there you see your results for that race. Top 3 on to the feature as Roy, Hill, Lindner, and Posey will now head to the last chance qualifier. Leave grid 3 is getting started in a second here for the third heat of the night out of 4. So far we've had some very good racing, a little bit better racing, I think, in that second heat with not a lot of passes in the first one. Now we have gone over to the latest heat. Zach Drapkin will be starting on the pole of this one. Nicholas Dachelet will be in second, and Zach Knowles starts from third. Bryce Simoneau will be P4. Roy Folsom will start from the 5th position. You've got Franklin Monarch in 6th. Tail End Charlie goes to Christopher McCorkle. So after those first 2 races, we've got some info. We've now at least seen a little more fierce battles out on track. What's your big takeaway from those first 2 of what we've witnessed thus far, Dave?
Hey, you got to get some good runs. I mean, as you watch, turn 1 was critical position for passes. Turn 2 could be a good setup. We've seen it go wrong in turn 4, where it's worked a couple times and you go back, you hit the wrong bump, and it really threw it out. You saw Roy, he struggled there. Those are going to be places to really watch for these guys battling. And I think we could watch this battle between the last qualifying position. It's going to be a good one again.
Already there. Yeah, there we go. We are now rolling behind the pace truck. Always amuses me when they get antsy. You see them start to take off before the pace truck is even gone. You can tell they want a race, and they come around that last turn, allow the pace truck to head off into the pit entry. And they're going to give control to Drapkin. He's on it. Green flag is out. Heat number 3 is underway. And it's a very good start for the 56. He holds the inside line just to cover off in case anybody wants something sneaky. Dachelet not able to get the position. He'll stay in second, but it's a battle for third as Knowles and Simoneau are trying to sort it out.
Well, I'll tell you, Drapkin really knows this track well. He's won before. He knows how to do it here. He's placed on the podium many times. But, he's got some fast movers behind him. You can see right now, they're not letting him go. He's got about a car length on him, but we're just in the first lap.
Great move from Roy Folsom in the 66 to get by Knowles for 4th place, but Knowles absolutely chucks it in to turn 4, trying to cut back underneath him. Roy Folsom cannot take the spot back, so the 099 is back into P4, but all that back and forth has cost them time.
Yeah, that's always when you're racing with somebody, it's going to slow you down. You're not going to run the fastest race. You know, you feel that pressure. It just kind of gets in your head.
Love that underbody shot that we saw with the suspension moving and really sending it down to the inside of Dashley. It looks like Simoneau wants to make himself a little bit more safe and was thinking about P2.
Well, yeah, Simoneau wants to get up there. Hey, I'm in a qualifying position, but hey, Josh, leave the door open. I'm going to kick it in.
Well,
Let's see what's going to happen.
That improves your starting position for the feature, does it not?
Yep.
Yeah, so might as well take it. But unfortunately, it looks like he's fallen back a little bit. Back to Knowles in the meantime. First driver not in an advancing position here in fourth. After taking back the spot from Folsom, he has just scampered away. And the top three are now the ones that are looking much closer together there into turn one.
You know, I think probably being that one spot off the qualifying spot, even though it's early on in the race, it's probably got to be next to leading the race, the next most difficult. The pressure. You know, you want to just sometimes just like to slam that throttle, but as you know, in all forms of racing, throttle control is everything, especially when you're spinning on the dirt.
I would have to imagine so. Once they get to that feature as well, worried about how those tires will last over the course of the race, plunging back down the hill and across the start-finish line, already to lap 4 here. So we're halfway through this thing. And Drapkin goes a little deep into the corner in the 56. Behind him, battle for third as Knowles caught up to Simoneau and gave him a little hello.
You know, he's going to let him know he's there. He's going to apply the pressure. He's trying to get in his head. You know, he's got the last qualifying position.
Fell back a little bit. Wonder if that just put him slightly offline. The 07 looks much farther away at this stage. Up and over the gentle hills here, launching over and into turn 4. And big bounce once again there from the 099. And we saw last time, Felix, that cost him a chance at trying to take a position at the end. Almost looks like maybe driver's getting a little too aggressive into that last corner.
Oh, I mean, that's an act of desperation, point blank. But yeah, that bump, if you don't hit that it will unsettle your truck, it will flip you, it will throw you, and toss you down that hill.
Back and around that snake liveried 07. Much safer now to the 099. We're on lap 5, 2 to go. 1.5 really at this point. So Knowles, if he's really got anything, he's going to have to turn up the wick. He's getting close in some of the corners, but not on straightaways. He just drops.
Yeah, it literally just drops it damn hard.
So we now get the white flag, 1 lap to go. It's a full second between P3 and P4. It's looking like Bryce has got this one pretty well under control. And coming down into turn 2, there's our leaders, Drapkin. It's been pretty much the same for all 3 of the leaders in each of our heats. Start from the pole, control the race, experience a little bit of pressure from behind from second place, but nobody really able to attack the lead and try and challenge him to steal it away. I'm not sure if they even want to, as we mentioned, just hold on to these transfer spots. And there you can see the 56 pumping his fist. Zach is hyped. That is Heat 3 win for the 56 truck. Dashley second, Simoneau in third, and Knowles comes home in fourth despite briefly holding on to that podium position. So himself, Folsom, Monak, and McCorkle will wind up in the LCQ as we take a glance at our results for that one.
Wow, it was impressive. Drapkin just a great race there. Dashley and Simoneau, and I don't think Knowles went gator hunting that well because he came up snake eyes on that one.
I see what you did there. As we go to our latest grid, and that is Keaton Swain, who is going to be starting on this one. Let's see if he can get himself back home in that first place as he did in the feature last time we were here. Cody Retzlaff will start on his outside. Lon Franks will start from third with Jaden Zane Minder in fourth place. You've got Daniel Aish in the fifth position. Bryce Sundquist will be in P6, and Nathan Ramsey, as we mentioned earlier, struggled a little bit in the qualifying, so he'll start the last spot on the last heat of the evening. So we'll see, that puts him, as Aish was given an EOL, so he's going to move to the back as everybody cycles around him. And the pace truck gets ready to unleash them out of turn 4. Keaton Swain waiting for it to speed up and duck out of the way. And green flag is out. Looks like the 21, not as good of a start as we saw with some of the others. And in fact, a battle for second place already going to contact between Franks and the likes of Retzlaff. Retzlaff almost gets shoved out of the way. He's going to have the inside down into turn 2 as they leap over the jumps and down into the right-handed hairpin. Way wide there for the 911. They're going to go 3 wide now, Dave.
Yeah, he definitely blew that corner there. He just did not get it hooked up, get it to rotate. Now he's got his hands full. Is that Minder going up the inside?
It is.
Oh, he's got a good run. Oh.
There, all sorts of sideways through there, and let's not forget the likes of Aish, who was given that EOL. He wants to try and take advantage of the craziness here, and they're still battling coming off of turn 4. It's a drag race now as we watch from underneath. Daniel in the 33. Can the 415 manage to fully get past this time? Minder wants it, and he's given a little bit of space down to the inside of the corner, but the job's not done. The green, black, and white 911 is trying to fight back and keep himself in that transfer spot.
And the same thing, he's going to try and go down the inside, but he decided to stay a little wide and allowed him to get away. But look at this. He's got a little company now in the 33. It's starting to put a little pressure on him. Can Linder pull away, though, is the question, because if he's got to worry about him, it's going to hard to concentrate on third place.
Minder just got on the radio asking how many people make it. Someone didn't read the rules before they hopped in, but 415 got answered. It's 3, and I'm sure he realizes he's 4th, so now a fire's been lit underneath him as we ride on board with Jaden. And he breaks into turn 1 hard, trying to duck it underneath. He does not have the overlap he saw in the first couple laps.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is going to be interesting if it has to go to an LCQ. All these guys, it's going to be a good battle for sure. But, man, up and over. Well, that just got a little pressure off him. Now, Aish, not going to have it going either. Look at Minder trying to pull up on him. Aish back a little bit. Sundquist up to 5th. So let's see if that's going to be the pressure for him now.
Down into the braking of turn 4. Yeah, he's still making sure that Franks has to watch that mirror, hoping that he doesn't get a dive bomb sent down to the inside. Poor Daniel in that 33. What got sent to the back at the start and then got sent to the back by his own mistake there late in the race. Up through that first corner, getting mighty close once again. Minder just making sure that every single turn the 911 has to think twice, and they're going to be coming down to 2 laps to go here next time by the flag. Great run through turn 3 here from Lon, getting himself a little bit farther out of reach.
And did you see how Franks just put that nose right up there, about a foot, kind of kept it sideways, kept the truck a little wide, so Minder had to mimic him. Otherwise, he would have hit him. Very smart driving by Lon Franks.
See if he can keep that speed and that cleverness up all the way to the finish. As they come around the first corner once again, he's about a 2-second gap off of Retzlaff, who still holds second. Swain is leading by 1.3 up in front of them. They basically skittered off into the distance. Coming around turn 2, another little look to the inside, but cannot get the throttle down, pinched on the exit by Franks. And down through turn 3 once again, still unable to try and catch and pass that 911. He's going to get the white flag. Will he be able to do anything? Will he get desperate on this final circuit?
Well, still got a lap to make it. You know, a little desperation may come out. You don't know. I think Minder's matured a lot, so he's starting to drive a little bit smarter. He knows he's got some good lines, but Frank's is just, it's hard to pass. You can see he just doesn't give you enough to the inside to try and push your way through.
Had another
We'll do
rollover.
the same here.
Had another rollover from Bryce in the 830, but he gets it going as he landed on his feet. But yeah, Minder's getting close. He's getting very close. Can't quite get side by side coming through turn 3. He's going to have to try and launch it off of turn 4 like his life depends on it. But as that is happening, Keaton Swain comes to the line in the 21, takes the win of heat number 4. Retzlaff is going to finish second, and it looks like Franks is going to hold off the 415 and finish in third. That will be our last heat of the night. And now we get to see who all will go to our LCQs, which we'll have multiples for. There is our finishing results for the 4th heat. Swain, Retzlaff, Franks advancing. Minder, Aish, Sundquist, and Ramsey will head off into these next couple races. Here's the grid for the first LCQ. Brian Clement will start on the pole of this one. Zach Knowles will be in second. Anthony Gaudia will be P3. Then you've got Roy Folsom in 4th position. Sean Winkler will be in 5th. Franklin Monak 6th. Cameron Magashik 7th. And you've got McCorkle bringing up the last of them in 8th. So not only is it only 2 that is going to be I am seeing an update on this. It is going to be 3 that will advance in this. So we will have at least 3 go on. However, there is one more car than what we saw in the heats, Dave. So whoever's in last place has just that little bit more of work to do.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. You can see it's hard to pass on this track. Qualifying sets you up. But, you know, ultimately, you got to have a little luck on your hands, too.
Green flag is out. Looks like it's a decent start for Clement, but he's not that far away from those behind. Will Knowles try and attack? No. Looks like he's going to hold station, but he gets tipped as Gaudio gets into the side of him. Folsom now trying to attack on the 440, seeing if he could take that 3rd place away. He knows that is the transfer position, as they all accordion together into turn 2. At this point, now they know it's not just a matter of making it to the big show. They know that from here they go home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're going to be watching, you know, with everybody else at home. That's one thing for sure about racing. You know, if you don't qualify, it just makes you want to practice a little bit more and get that much better.
Gaudio with another little hit from Folsom for that 3rd spot as they come down to turn 1 here on lap 2. It's even shorter race as well, 4 laps for these. So even less time to try and make up the positions. The 66 can't quite do it, is behind a big hit to the K-rail from the number 30. Sean Winkler almost rolling it over.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's another one hitting the K-rail there. They're getting a little physical, a little bumping, and these are the way the LCQs usually roll.
Yeah, behind them, Monak also got a piece of it. He and Magashik unfortunately held up because of that little tussle, so they fall way far behind. They're going to have to hope for a wreck ahead of them for any chance at being able to advance from here, because they are a good distance back now. Meanwhile, Clement still leads now by about 0.7 of a second, as the battle for 3rd has become the battle for 4th. Gaudio has run away. Folsom and Winkler are the 2 as, down to the inside and into the side of him is another hit. That U-Haul car, unfortunately, is not going to be able to get the deposit back.
I was just thinking the same thing on that one, but it only cost him $19.95 at race day.
I wish a race truck cost that much to rent as we come around. Gonna get the white flag next time by. And Sean Winkler, unfortunately, that time around turn 1 really cost him. He's 9/10 off of Folsom. It's looking more and more hopeless for him. But look at this black, white, and blue number 483. Takes to the white flag as he flies across the start-finish line. And he's still got about 9/10 of a second to the truck behind him. So Brian Clement and Zach Knowles looking pretty handy right now. Gaudio is well about a second and a half back to the next car, so the bubble position doesn't look like it's at risk of falling out from underneath him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really losing time, but he's not gaining it either. He's kind of just staying there. And that's a tough one. Gaudio, he just got to hold on that spot. He's got a good gap on him.
And he's got to know that at least I'm going to get through from here. Might not get me many points, but it'll allow me to earn more later on as we come across the line. First LCQ goes to Brian Clement. Zach Knowles finishes second. Anthony Gaudio will finish in third and be the last one to advance. Roy Folsom, Sean Winkler, Christopher McCorkle, Franklin Monak, and Cameron Magashik will find themselves parked for the rest of the night as that is outside the advancing position. So there's your results for that first LCQ. That takes us as well to the second one. Let's take a look at the B main now. And that is going to be Felix Roy, who will start on the pole of this one. Just shy of managing to get through last time after charging through. Jaden Zane Minder will be in second. Jake Hill starts from third. Daniel Aish will be in the fourth position. You've got Ryan Lindner in the fifth spot and Bryce Sundquist in sixth. Then it's Scott Posey starting P7 and Nathan Ramsey in the eighth position, the last driver on the field. And already we get off and going. At least Felix Roy does not lose the pole position this time.
Yeah, that EOL was a tough one to swallow, especially when he worked his way up to one spot off of qualifying. So I think he might fare better in this one.
I don't think. That was Ramsey in the background, and he had to take a tow as the green flag is out. So he should be able to come back out and start, but unfortunately he's going to be way behind as we get a few trucks coming together. Third turn one on its lid. That's going to be Lindner, unfortunately, who's up and over.
Well, a couple right out of the way having problems here. I didn't think it was that quick here in LCQ.
Way deep into the corner for the 33, but he doesn't lose the spot to Hill, who is taking a look on him down into turn two. So Daniel in that bright blue car is going to still hold on to the transfer spot as we hop on board with the 170. He's got to try and get much closer to this point, but up at the front, Roy experiencing the advantages of pole as we have yet to see any of our starters from the top spot in any of the races get overtaken tonight.
No, and that's what, like you said, this track becomes one line, hard to pass. You're out front, it's yours to take the best lines.
Looks like Lindner is able to get back out, but he's going to be starting a lap down, unfortunately. In fact, it's going to be 2 laps down as already Felix Roy is going past that pit exit. And you can see him sliding it through turn 3 with Minder about 1.1 seconds back, it looks like. Roy is really controlling the field at this stage.
Yeah, this track is so deceptive, too, because it's like long and narrow. So it looks bigger than it actually is. You can see how fast these laps go away. I mean, 2 laps down now, 3 laps down. White flag. Bam, just like that.
Yeah, so, and it's just under 50 seconds that they're running here in these races, even with a worn-in track. So it does go by quite quickly. And yeah, it's the same length as Wild Horse, but like you said, it just doesn't feel like that.
No, it looks a lot bigger, but the speeds are very high.
That is for sure. Gonna get the white flag next time by. The 91 of Felix Roy coming out of the final turn up to 2 seconds ahead. Remember, he was supposed to start at the front of the second heat, so he definitely had a lot more pace than what's implied by him winding up in these LCQs. So this one, once he started from the front, was basically his to lose. And looks like Minder as well is still at about 1.5 seconds over Daniel in the 33. Daniel, having separated himself from Jake Hill, has been running a relatively calm race. Despite a very frantic start, this one settled in very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it started out pretty crazy. Now look at them. They're all stretched out. They're apart. I think these are the qualifiers that are going to go in there. But you got to remember, you qualified for the main event, and the way this track runs, when you get to that main, he's going to have to do some moves pretty quick. I know we got a lot more laps to deal with, but he's obviously going to take this one.
A win for Felix Roy. Jaden Minder will finish in second, and Daniel Aish will be the last one to advance. As behind them, Jake Hill, Bryce Sundquist, Nathan Ramsey, Ryan Linder, and Scott Posey are now sent home and to watch with everybody else. We're going to take a quick break before we head off to our feature. Stick around. We have the big show coming here in the iRacing Short Course National Series.
Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean. Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Welcome back to Podium Esports here at Wild West Motorsports Park. It is the iRacing Short Course National Series here for round 8. And so far, it has looked like track position is king today. As we are warming up for the feature, we've set our grid. The drivers know what has to be done from here, but we've got a few people out of place. And I guess it's sort of good news, Dave, for Connor Berry, because the man who stole the win from him last time is going to be starting well down in the field.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of confidence boost, but, you know, Connor knows he's going to be out front, and if they haven't inverted the field, I didn't see this yet, but, you know, when you're in the top, I say 4 positions, you got a good chance of taking the win.
Absolutely, and they're gridding up now, so let's go through that order as Connor Berry, as we mentioned, starts on the pole, the desired pole today. Christopher Plumley will start to his outside. Zachary Drapkin will be in 3rd, followed by Keaton Swain in 4th position, as Josh Edmondson will be in P5. You've got Tyson Miller in 6th, and then Nicholas Dashley in 7th. Cody Retzlaff will be from P8. You've got Tom Grady starting 9th, and Aiden Irvin rounding out your top 10. From there, Bryce Simoneau will start from 11th. Lon Franks will be P12, and Brian Clement will be 13th. Felix Roy, unusually low after an EOL made his life tough today, but he will start from 14th. Zach Knowles will be in P15. Shaden Zane Minder will be P16. Then it's Anthony Gaudio, 17th, and Daniel Aish in 18th. Rounding out our fields, the most trucks we'll have seen on track at once during today's race. I'm excited to see what turn 1 is going to be like when 18 of these beasts are barreling into there, Dave.
Well, I've seen it in real life. I've seen it here, and it doesn't get pretty, usually. It's a lot of guys that usually the first couple ones make it through. It's usually the middle of the accordion. A couple guys, you know, will try and put their nose too close up on that K-rail, stick it, collect everybody.
Yeah, we've already seen multiple drivers tip their trucks over into that first corner. A few have wound up turtled and have to take a tow here in the sim, but others have managed to get back on the tires and take off like nothing happened. We'll see how many get so lucky if that erupts into craziness into that first turn. They should be taking off pretty soon here. The good news is I do not see any EOL penalties set. However, they did reset the track again, Dave, so it is back to a completely fresh circuit.
This is going to be interesting then. It's going to totally change the way the guys are driving. It's starting to come into it. I think the traction was there. So now, just like before a real race, they go out and water it, groom it a little bit. You're going to find some slick spots.
And they are. This is what we interpreted the rules wrong. Apologies. This is where they have that extra pace lap that they're going to head around to try and just burn in the track a little bit. You can see even at these low speeds, they get a little bit of a hop coming over those jumps along the front stretch. And this gives them a chance to kind of scope things out once again as well, because they're not going to be able to do much to the track here at these pace speeds. They're only going about 45 miles an hour. So yes, they will do a little bit to it, but it's not going to be much, that's for sure. And some of them, it looks like they are trying to slide it through the corner just to try and tear it up and rub it in a little more.
Oh, and it's slick. Let me tell you, those hills are steep too. You know, trying to walk up one of those things, it's like walking on ice.
I was kind of wondering, have you had a chance to actually ride on one of these trucks off of one of these jumps here? Because they
Yes.
look huge.
Yes, I've done it in the pace track with Gary Lane, and I thought he was going to kill me in the stock truck. Good old Toyota sucked it up. But I haven't been in a race truck at this track, but at other ones, and it is probably the biggest adrenaline rush. I did get to ride at Chula Vista back in the day, and I'm going to compare the drop-off, very similar to this one, and it's literally like going weightless. But hey, we're green, green, green.
Ooh, a little bit of a touch to the inside wall for our pole sitter. That's going to put him off, and Drapkin knows it as they're 3 wide for third place as well behind them. Drag race for the lead, going the long way around. Can Zach snatch this one away? And look at how much they're bunching together, yet we're not seeing anybody turned over yet. And down into turn 3, Drapkin's got the lead. Barry is going to cut back underneath to try and take it back.
A smart move there. It looked like, Zach was trying to push out Barry just a little bit. Barry's like, all right, fine, I'm just going to slide to the inside. Very smart.
He's got the lead back, and that is it. The 28 is into the front once again. Zach is not done with him. He's following up into turn 1. And he's going to go wide into the corner as Connor goes defensive. Tries to cut back underneath is behind him. The 58 of Edmondson takes a little bit of a look. And, unfortunately, we had missed Felix Roy has wound up in pit lane with severe damage. He must have gotten rolled over.
I think in that turn number 1, there was a couple in the back that kind of got crashed. And I think Felix was back there somewhere around, 14th?
Yeah, I'm looking back and into turn 4. I think, we've got a replay. He got sent over in a barrel roll. Here it is right here.
Oh, geez. That's what I meant to say, turn 4, the final turn. And talk about getting sent, he got punted.
Yeah, and I don't think anything was done wrong there. It's just everybody was trying to pick a line, and he was the odd man out, unfortunately. As we come back into the first corner, and now that Barry's got the lead back, he is not playing games. He's already starting to pull away. Drapkin, in the meantime, not only has he lost the lead, but look at Josh really hound him at every corner.
And look at Drapkin goes real tight on the inside. So you knew Edmondson was going to look to the inside. It's better to try to go the inside. It's a lot harder to go the long way. But sometimes if you slide it out just right and get that traction, you can pass on the outside.
Watching the onboard with Zach, looking backwards here at Edmondson into turn 4. He's going to try and get the nose underneath him, and he does, but it's not going to allow him to get the better run as behind them. Keaton Swain had a little bit of a swap against the wall in that number 21. He's been trying to hold on. He's already a full 2.2 seconds back from the leader. They will get bunched up at the end of lap 10 with that standard caution, but he's not looking like he is a feature in this race like he was the last time we came, as they were riding on board with Plumley in the 36 for a moment.
This is where the other chance comes in. You talked about the competition caution. Halfway through this, we're going to throw that, rack them back up. Well, that's going to give a chance for guys like Edmondson to go after Drapkin. But Barry, he's going to have to go into protection mode. You're going to have to time that start just right.
And last time it almost bit him. He tried to get it all the way down to the K-rail and clipped it a little bit. Into the side of the 911 there, Irvin. Just about turning Franks over, but now inside of him, looks like Knowles is trying to attack. The 099 has a great run, and he's got some overlap coming into the first hairpin. He's going to be able to duck it down to the inside line in a classic move there from Zach to take 13th away.
Yeah, he just slid that thing and filled the line. Beautiful move. That's textbook.
So now he sets his sights on Franks in the green 911. Knowles was not able to make the move on him last lap by, so can he try and learn from what he saw up ahead and try and make the move himself up the hill all the way to the top, getting on the binders. He's trying to get underneath, and unfortunately that's a little hot into the turn, and the 911 is able to pull away.
Lon Franks, going from that earlier race, he was just so smooth.
Edmondson got tipped around in turn 1. He lost multiple positions. Or no, he didn't get tipped around. He ran into the side of Drapkin. And Drapkin was able to retain second somehow, but unfortunately the 58 is back down to 5th. Here's the replay.
Yeah, totally missed that shot as we watched that earlier battle, but man, carried a little too much speed.
He was lucky he was not in the firing line, but then I guess it was unlucky in the sense that those coming through easily picked their way past. And now you can see that red and blue 58 is outside of the podium positions.
Well, he's going to have to really play this one smart here and get set up for that restart.
Ooh, and all the way to the outside there, the 535, using all the track and then some. Excuse me, yeah, Tom Grady, the 535 there, as he is trying to catch up to Simoneau, who's going to make a little bit of contact with Minder just in front of him. That checks both of them up as we watch the onboard camera here coming through turn 3 and slicing up the hill towards turn 4. Behind them, there was a little bit of a threat from Knowles on Franks as well. So the mid-pack has really been where all the action is in this first half of the race, and we're quickly approaching that competition caution.
Yeah, and it's tough. You know, they're each going to try and inch their way up, but everybody's pretty equal once you get into the first couple laps. Now we're going to see if the track starts to get a little faster. It was a little sloppy when they first started.
I'm looking at those first laps, and yeah, it looks like it's getting faster. They're almost a second faster, actually, already. Guys like Keaton Swain, who's been running all by his lonesome, and there is a big tip to the 535, as that's going to check everybody up. Franks making that contact. Knowles tries to take advantage as he runs behind him. Irvin is well poking his nose in the 259. And here we go, drag race once again down to turn 4.
Yeah, he was going to try and follow him right up through that inside, but tried to move to the outside. And you can see this is where it's going to happen here. He's looking to the inside. Frank is going to
coming together. They're just struggling to hold on to it. They're going to be 3 wide up into turn 1. Down to the inside. Oh, they're all out of sorts. Are they going to be able to stop? Everybody goes wide as they go 4 deep down into the corner. Unbelievable. And ducking under it all. Brian Clement almost gets all of them, but he still has to fight as he's both defending and attacking, and unfortunately the bumping and banging is not over. Down into turn 2. Now it's Lon Franks who comes out in control. Still fighting hard for it. Irvin battling with Knowles to his inside through turn 3, but the 099 can't quite get the grip. They continue on into turn 4.
I told you, this is going to get physical, and this is where they're just fighting for positions in the back. It's not about qualifying, it's about points. Every position is a point.
And some pride to boot as they continue to fight back and forth. Irvin still bringing the battle to the 099 and absolutely chucking it in as they make contact. That's Clement, who's going to be able to nudge to the side Irvin, but he's not fully past him. He'll be on the outside down into turn 2 as they try to get onto the binders. This, as you said, is getting extremely physical. Elbows are fully out and sharpened.
Oh, yeah, and I think a few side kicks are going on. You know, these guys are fighting for it. Look at this. What a great shot, though. 5 trucks running up that hill. Becoming
more like a hockey match out there. And yes. I think the yellow flag, rather, is about to be thrown, and it has been. Yellow flag is out. Barry slows to a crawl. Drapkin now bunches up behind him, and Swain, we didn't mention it before, but with that problem for Edmondson, he got promoted to 3rd. Josh, by the way, did find his way back into 4th past Dashalet.
Well, it's going to be interesting, you know, to watch this. Drapkin, he really got this track down. You know, Barry, he got denied. He wants the win here at this track. You know, he's still got that points lead, but I think it's also saying I can win here. But going back to Swain again, he's not that far back, and he knows every point now. As the series dwindles down, it's getting to be a battle for the top 2 positions. Barry still rolls onto it. They need something to happen to Barry.
Exactly. And Felix Roy has DNF'd officially. He's out of the race. I believe Daniel Aish is as well. He's 7 laps down and has been sitting in pit lane. That means we have no drivers on a lap down at the moment, which means we're going to go back to green immediately. And Barry gets a good jump as Drapkin is going to try and follow him in. He's going to get a little hello from Keaton Swain, but Swain can't make the pass stick, so he's going to have to settle for third. Behind them, Edmondson starting to fall back. So it looks like not as crazy of a start as we saw, except for the back. Holy cow, it is a parking lot down in the hairpin.
Yeah, they're all looking for that one spot there on Black Friday right now. Oh! Is that Long Franks? Oh, no.
Franks goes over, and he hits the wall on his way back around on top of it, so he is going to be sent all the way to the tail of the field. Meanwhile, Connor Berry trying to reintroduce the gap that he was able to pull, but look at Zach. He's not letting him run away this time.
Drapkin knows he knows a few spots here, but look at this. Swain is right there, but look who just got back up into the fight. Edmondson.
Took another touch to that inside K-rail there. Down into the first hairpin, and a look to the inside this time. Zach is now on the attack of Connor Berry. As Berry swings a little bit wide coming through turn 3. Has he been frazzled now by the 56 trying to make moves?
I don't know. I think Connor's pretty calm and cool collected. Drapkin is too. He's biting that bottom lip though. You can tell he's concentrating.
Absolutely. 56 wants that win. Keaton Swain managed to get wins here and I believe in round 2 at Bark River. So this is the only odd man out for Connor Berry. This is the only track he hasn't won at of the available circuits here on iRacing for the trucks. So he wants to try and get at least one win at each of them, even if he isn't going to be able to sweep them for the season. And we're down now to 9 laps to go. It's starting to look a little bit safer for that 28 as the 56 isn't as close as he was before.
Well, there's still a lot of laps here. 9 to go. I mean, now pretty much 8.5. It gets up to this point. It goes by so quick, 50 seconds, a blink of the eye. But look at this, a little stretch out here. Even Edmondson falling off the pace a little bit.
This is going to be, what, about 7 laps to go, or 7 minutes to go, rather, in terms of time left with this 8 laps to go now through that first corner. Edmondson wants to make up for lost time, and all he needs is one more spot to get back to where he was before. And Keaton Swain doesn't want to let that happen. He wants to finish on the podium here. If he can't take that win, might as well be able to spray the champagne. We're on board now with the 58 as he chases down Keaton Swain.
I think Connor Berry's got his 4-leaf clover in his pocket, looking for a little Irish luck to take this win.
Absolutely. This has certainly been his day. Just about led every lap so far today out on the track of every race he has been in. And then coming up into turn 1, things have spread apart, I think, a lot more than what we saw in that first segment of the race. In fact, I'm looking all the way back, and really the first good battles that we're getting is for 11th, 12th, 13th. Many of the drivers who were kind of all accordion together there at the beginning as we saw them go 4 and 3 wide through this part of the track, and you can see a little bit of them battling there once again.
Hey, Franks looks like he's right back into the middle of it too. Plumley, the 36.
Indeed, and looks like Tom Grady missing a little bit of body work, a little bit more Mad Max now in that 535 as he tries to get up to Irvin. So we hop back with Clement now in the 483 in the meantime. This is the battle for 9th position. Knowles just in front of him And he's going to try and slide it underneath. But, oh, clipping the inside. Both of them clipping the inside. Almost turns it completely around. Clement gets it rolling. Behind them, side-by-side battle between Grady and Irvin as well. Will they be able to swallow up Clement? No. Oh, they're going to hit him. They're going to hit him a second time. He gets it back forward. And look at that. 3 positions in 1 corner for Retzlaff.
So it's going to go around, but look at this. He's got a little bit of company coming up with him.
525 up to 10th place. That was a sneaky move, but well positioned as they bang doors between Clement and Irvin there. Irvin, oh, almost getting into the wall, but he's going to be able to keep it out of it as Clement as well is going to drag race him up the hill, round the outside, up into the first turn. Will they once again come together? No, they're going to give each other space this time, but unfortunately that means Aiden is going to take 12th.
I don't think there's any trucks here that don't have fiberglass damage right now, except for the guys up front, the top 4, really separated away from everybody. You know, watching the line here from Connor, oh, here comes Drapkin, going a little hot. That's close as he's been.
I was just watching my timing screen and realized that Zach had managed to cling to the back of that 28 quite well here. In fact, I think he gained a little bit of time in these last couple laps, but now time is running out. It's 4 laps to go. They've pulled ahead of Swain by about a second, so they've distanced themselves enough. They are free to fight without having to worry too much. Going the long way around there. Zach trying to find the grip, trying to find the berm, forming up just off the racing line. Unfortunately, he cannot get the overlap he wants quite yet.
And you can see it's really starting to blue groove out there. And you see the traction. Barry just had his wheels driving him up that, you know, got it right on the blue groove.
Off of the final turn once again. Going to get 3 to go this time by. Running incredible pace up here at the front. Consistently 50-second laps or less here for these two. And as soon as I say that, Drapkin ran a 50.1. Ahead of him, Barry, a 49.9 still this time by. Up and over the launching hills, down into turn 2. A little deep there for the 28. He opens the door a little bit. Drapkin tries to step through, but no dice.
Oh, you know, the amazing thing is I think he's running faster times than he did qualifying right now in race conditions.
Unbelievable stuff. Hanging it all out here. And that tells you, too, Zach's making him work for it.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely pushing him into it. Sometimes that will slow you down, not Connor. He's like playing the rabbit right now for sure. And we got the Wild Coyote right behind him.
So will he have a meal after today, or is he going to be left hungry? The 56.
Or is he left holding the dynamite?
Yeah, exactly. 2 laps to go now. Hopefully it doesn't blow up in his face. Swain still at that 1 second back. And I tell you what, Keaton as well has turned up the wick. He dropped Josh Edmondson to almost 2 seconds behind him.
Oh, yeah, I mean, and Edmondson's really fast. Usually he's right up in the fight here, but, you know, I mean, look at him. He's even gapped out from Swain. Usually he'd be right on the tail.
So out here in the desert, even though it's a very cloudy day, it's looking like sunshine soon for Connor Barry if he can just play defense for 1 more lap, because Drapkin has been close but not close enough. He's been poking and prodding and getting in there like about here, but he's not willing to risk both their cars, not making contact yet. He wants to play fair. Drapkin staying on his tail as they come through turn 2. Almost tips around the back of that truck, almost says hello to him. Into turn 3, way wide around the corner. Connor Barry willing to let the door open, and that actually works out very well for him. Great launch off the turn. Drapkin looks way too far back from here. I don't think there is anything in it, and that is a nice clean entry from the 28. Connor Barry once again picks up where he had missed out last time. Victory for the 28 here at Wild West Motorsport Park.
Yeah, I definitely checked that one off the box there, but so impressive watching Drapkin. Did not get him there. Swain, he could have got on the fight if he could have made something, but Edmondson really stopped me being back deep in, back in fourth place there. I thought he'd be up there really fighting with him.
Absolutely. So that's going to be a podium for Barry, Drapkin, and Swain. Rest of them come across the line. Only three DNFs this race. We lost Clement, and he unfortunately did not get to see the checkered flag. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews, so stick around.
Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Welcome back to Wild West Motorsports Park. Round 8 of the iRacing Short Course National Series saw Connor Berry take another victory, picking up what he missed out on last time we visited here to Reno. Zachary Drapkin finished in second with Keaton Swain in the third position. Josh Edmondson was P4 as Nicholas Dachelet. A bit of a quiet race from our perspective. We'll have to see if that was the case on his end. He got a top 5 out of that. Tyson Miller was 6th, and Bryce Simoneau finished 7th. Chaden Minder from 16th to 8th. Pretty much our hard charger of the race as Zach Knowles followed him home in 9th. Cody Retzlaff wound up in 10th. And it's Tom Grady on the next slide in 11th position. Christopher Plumley was 12th, and Anthony Gaudio wound up 13th. Aiden Irvin was 14th, and the last driver to finish was Franks. From there on down, it was DNFs today. It looks like we've got Connor Berry ready to talk to us, and I'm curious to see if he feels like this is the one that got away and if this is more satisfying because of that. So, Connor, we have to ask, you didn't get to win this one last time we visited here. Was this a high one on your list to make up for?
Yeah, for sure. My goal was just to win at all of the tracks, and this for sure check that box. Tonight was fun. I was just focusing on being smart and not taking any weird chances. It's round 8, and we're starting to get towards the end, so I was just focusing on being smart. I knew that I was in front of Swain and Roy, and yeah, I was just being smart.
Pretty much every race we covered, the pole sitter seemed to have a huge advantage and would go on to win their respective races. Were you surprised come later in the race that you were starting to get some threats from Zach that he was able to really challenge?
Yeah, for sure. Zach was fast. He is always fast here. But whenever he would get close, I would just put down some laps and I would grow the gap back out. and then I would just go back to being smart, and he would pull me back in, and I would just keep pulling it back out. Yeah, I mean, I was just being smart, and I wasn't gonna let the gap get too small, but I wasn't going to take any chances what could put me on my lid.
And that certainly bit a lot of other drivers who wound up upside down or sideways. Talk about the evolution of the track, though. It started at a complete zero here at the feature, and by the end, it looked pretty different. What's the main differences that you felt out there inside the cockpit?
For sure, it's pretty rough to turn, especially into turn 3. If you don't have the truck set right, you are just going to push, and it's definitely a weird change. I mean, it's for sure weird because you aren't expecting it sometimes because you're so focused on the same lines what you ran at the start, and then it will change on you every single lap, and it's all about just adapting, and that's what I did.
Adapted extremely well. It seems like you had the rub of the green this St. Patrick's Day. Is there anybody you want to thank for today's victory?
Sure, I want to give a big thanks to Jim Beaver Esports, CBR, General Tire, Positive Energy, um, Vision Wheel, Next Level Racing, and all of you guys for this stream, and all of my admins and staff for helping me put on this league.
That was your winner, Connor Berry, in the number 28 truck here today. But up next, Dave has caught up with Zach Drapkin, who finished second, certainly chased Connor the whole way.
Zach, what an incredible race for you. I mean, I know you're fast here. You had that lead early on, but just to see you battle with Connor Berry was impressive.
Yeah, this track I really put in a lot of time and definitely refined my tune from the last race where we went bouncing over in the top corner, and I knew I had to change some things, and if I was going to do it, I had to do it right. So we tweaked the tune a little bit, and we found some speed, and it really showed racing with Connor today. And I think I could have got him a couple more laps, but it wasn't worth it. This is a great points race. I saw just chasing Connor around. Would have liked to get the win because he just broke my podium streak record, but it's okay. I'll get him back. I can't let him go any farther because then it's gonna be harder to beat. But it was definitely a fun one to run today. I'm super happy with the results, especially from last week. 2 podiums in a row was worth it.
Well, I don't know, but if you heard him, but he said that he'd let you catch up a little bit, then gap you and pull out again. That old accordion. Were you playing games a little bit with him too, trying to get in his head though?
I was playing little games. I could tell when he was slowing down because usually Connor just puts the gap on you every time you're behind him. So I knew when he did slow down a little bit, I knew I had to get in his head immediately. I'd give him a little taps on the fenders and try to throw him off his game a little bit because the moment you get mental with somebody, it's going to be hard to get him straight again. So, but Connor's just the hard person it's hard to break him. He's smart and fast. So it was fun to play with. It was fun to battle back and forth. I think that was probably the closest first second I've been all race all season long. It was just a fun little battle of going back and forth. So we'll get it next time.
Well, very impressive run tonight for sure, and I know you got some people to thank for that.
Oh, yeah. I got my whole team backing me in real life and in Sim World. I got Redline Oil, Signature Repellers, AG Sand Cars, Competitive Edge, Weddle Industries, McMullen Transaxle, Skydive Elsinore, Adam Grindover at Big O Tires, 92 Designs for making my Pro 4 look awesome. Chad, Corey, Jake, and Jordan for all watching. We're going to get Jake in the main in the next one. He missed the start on his heat race, and that's going to get him. So I'm gonna make him fast. We're going to get him into the main event in the next one. And I got to thank everybody that backs the series. It's such a fun blast. Every Thursday night, just come out here and just run with the best. It's fun. It's a great way to spend our Thursday nights, and that's pretty much it. And happy early birthday to my dad, whose birthday's tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Scott, and congratulations, Zach Drapkin. A great run tonight.
Thanks, guys.
That takes us to third place, Keaton Swain in the number 21. It's not a win here this time, but it is a podium. Kind of fell in your lap a little bit. You had Josh Edmondson with an issue. It looked like he was threatening you a bit, but were you ever actually nervous about him back there?
I mean, obviously, when someone like Josh is behind you, you always got to be nervous because he's fast. Josh is a clean racer, and I knew he would keep it clean. And he obviously knew coming in that there's a bit of pedal, so I knew he wasn't going to do anything too dramatic. So I appreciate him racing me clean and giving me the opportunity to try and chase down Connor and Zach. But unfortunately, just didn't have quite the speed tonight.
Looked like you made some pretty good moves at the start. It didn't get you positions, but certainly kept you out of trouble in what was a huge field barreling into 1 and 2. What were your thoughts heading into those first few corners with so many trucks around and they're such tight hairpins?
Yeah, no doubt. This track, if you can make it out of the first lap clean, you kind of set yourself up for a good finish. So it's always the main goal: just come out of turn 1 and 2 on your wheels, and then just put your head down and start trying to make moves. But obviously, it's very tough to pass here. And Connor and Zach ran a good race. I had nothing. Congrats to those two. We're just gonna have to get back to work and try and find some more speed for.
Indeed. And 2 more rounds left to go, Bark River and Crandon. Do you feel like either of those are maybe a strength for you or particularly good?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely say Crandon's my best track, and Bark River would probably be my second. Now, as long as we just keep ourselves out of trouble and try to get some good qualifying points and put our truck up front, I think we can have a shot at some wins. Obviously, the championship will be tough now, but you're not out of it till it's over. So let's get back to work and hopefully have a solid last 2 rounds.
Yeah, sometimes keeping out of trouble is easier said than done. But anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I just gotta thank Appliance Parts Company, Factory Sim Sport, Sim Coach Pedals, CK Designs, Trevor Teal for making this setup. Big improvement over what I've been running. Then obviously everyone that helps support Connor's League and you guys for doing the podcast.
That was Keaton Swain, third here today for the 8th round of the season and the iRacing Short Course National Series, which is going to wrap us up. But a big thank you to the sponsors, of course, before we go: CBR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics. Huge thank you to everyone behind the scenes at the iRacing Short Course Series to help make tonight possible. And of course, thank you to our team this evening: Dougie Beard, Nicholas, Cameron Abernon, Ryan Bauer, and Dave Arnold. Also, our gratitude to the tireless efforts of those at Podium Esports: Ryan Bauer, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore. Make sure and tune in next week when we head to Bark River once again. I'm Joe Peak. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the track.